It's estimated that 80% of women will develop stretch marks during pregnancy, but I want you to look at what happened to one woman after she tried to have them removed. So she reportedly got a plasma fibroblast treatment done by a beautician at a salon. Says the pain was worse than childbirth. And apparently, Dr. Batra, she was told this procedure was fine, safe, benign, but that doesn't look benign.
No, it looks anything but benign. And so the idea is this is a plasma or fibroblast pen, and it relies on something called nitrogen gas, where it creates an ionized spark of energy. So you can see here, it actually is going to burn and create thermal energy. I don't know if you can see up close the heat that this is generating and the smoke. So the problem is that unlike lasers, these can really generate a lot of heat. And
I have a stretch mark. You want to fix it?
I don't think you want me to do that. And so this poor woman had second to third degree burns. And right now, these pens are falling in this gray zone of regulation because they're not lasers, they're not quite medical devices. People are buying them online. You can see all these courses directed, and they're targeting stay-at-home moms, cosmeticians, hairstylists, and they're trying to say how benign this is. This was actually done in an esthetician's office, this poor unsuspecting woman, and completely burned.
It looks at the picture that was on the abdomen that the treatment sites were too big.
Well, not only treatment sites, but just the heat that was used was so intense that it really is a full thickness.
So if you want
to your question, I mean, you can go online right now and get all sorts of plasma devices from China. You don't know if they've been calibrated and is the strength of the charge.
Well, this doesn't tell you at all the degree of heat. And it's worth noting that, for example, in Canada, these are completely disallowed. Like, these are banned. You can't buy them,
and they might
get them done
eventually
in
be here as well, right?
I would hope, but they're not there yet because they fall in this gray regulatory zone.
So what do I do then if we acknowledge that these are not the way to go?
You have stretch marks?
Yes, I do not.
Oh.
But baby hasn't been delivered yet, so we got 2 more months. But what should people do if they're, I mean, if 80% of women get stretch marks during pregnancy, what is the best way to treat them?
We always say this, how about starting with prevention? So,
correct.
I mean, you can't predict how big a pregnancy, you never know how much your skin is going to stretch, how many stretch marks you're going to get. If, to a certain degree, it is
Well, actually, I did a study of this when I was
Yeah.
in training, and we found the 2 biggest predictors of stretch marks were your genetic predisposition, so if you had a first-degree relative, and the second was how quickly you gained the weight. So it wasn't actually how much you gained in total, it was just how quickly it stretched your skin, and that's what caused the changes in texture.
And that's what you see in kids, too, men included, who go through those growth spurts. They grow too quickly, and a lot of times in men, you see it around the arms and the shoulders, that it stretched
sometimes in the hips as
well.
And the idea is that under a microscope, stretch marks are a lot like scar tissue. So like you said, prevention is huge because if you keep that skin really hydrated and emolliated, gain the weight gradually, you're less likely to get them. But once you do get them, certainly you could use alpha hydroxy acids. There's really good data on the way they promote cell turnover, helping stretch marks. Retinoids, which are vitamin A derivatives. And then there are actually lasers and radiofrequency devices that have data behind them. Just like a scar, you can never fully erase them, but you can certainly improve them. But please don't resort to this.
Worse.
Yeah, I mean, go at least and have a trained professional.
Stretch marks, maybe a vascular laser will
laser
help. And a
helps when they're
well-mature
red.
stretch mark, I think we agree, fractional CO2 is a good way to go. But before you do that, make sure you test an area to make sure that you respond well.
You heard it from the skin aficionados. Be aware of these devices.
You don't want to end up in our offices being treated for burns.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that was horrifying in terms of these online videos was the wound care that was discussed once you have these treatments. And I think you saw this too, Dr. Orden, where they were just advising that even once you get the treatment done, let it dry out, let it crust. And that's actually the worst possible advice after a heat source like this. So all around, seek a qualified professional.
In general, and the studies show it, that wounds will heal better and scar less in a moist environment, not letting them dry out and
with
form
an
heavy.
ointment or hydration. Exactly right.
Thank you, doctors.